Hey guys, Brad coming at you. It's been a while. Got a few cards to show. Maybe talk a little NFL before the season starts here. Just right around the corner, Thursday. 2 more days, folks. Eagles, Falcons. Um, so yeah, we'll get into the cards here first. I did group break. I bought the Dolphins in Donruss. I bought the Dolphins and Jets. I hit a Sam Darnold too, which I already moved. So this was a really good break. And I hit a PC card. It's the Legends of the Fall subset, numbered 1 out of 10 of my guy Jason Taylor. Kind of got that art look to it. Very nice. 1 of 10 Legends of the Fall. So, very nice. And then my one eBay pickup, shout out to HerdFan87, old Matt. He hit me up and he's like, man, I don't know if you've seen these, but these all of a sudden hit eBay. They came out of the Panini National Packs. I was like, I hadn't seen that. So I know sometimes they insert Hall of Fame autos and stuff, but I didn't remember, when they did that. But it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame auto, number 25 of 50 on card of Jason Taylor. And these came out of the Panini, I think it was silver or gold packs. Beautiful. It's a perfect SIG, too. Clean SIG. Because I let one go because the SIG was very average. And then this one got $18 than the SIG that was average. $18 less. So I felt like I got this for a really good price. So, yeah, awesome. 25 of 50. Really happy to add that. So those are my 2 additions. Not a whole lot of Merino stuff popping up that I kind of want. So, yeah. My last couple pickups have been like Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor stuff. So, because they've been in products lately, which is cool. So, yeah, on to football. Got a big trade that happened this week, which you don't see in the NFL that often. You're starting to see it a little more often, but you don't see it that often. Khalil Mack headed to the Bears. There's a bunch of draft picks involved. Basically, the Bears gave up 2 first-rounders. I think they get a second and then give up a third and a fifth or something. I mean, but basically it's 2 first-rounders for him. And then paid him 6 years of $141 million. So, so is it a good trade for him? Yes and no. Like, the only problem is if he would have just signed him to 6 years, $141 million out of free agency, it's like, okay, you overpaid a little bit. That's what happens. But you didn't give up any other capital for him, like first-round picks. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I'd always give up multiple first-round picks to get a vet that I already know is good. And why that sounds good, yeah. The problem is with it is salary cap purposes. You get a great player, well, what you hope is a great player that you get to control for 5 years at a cheap rate. That's what the appeal is to it in the first round. So I don't have a problem with the trade. They're definitely going after it, but it's a lot. A guy did kind of a analytical view of the trade to what Khalil Mack would have to do to be worth the money / stuff they gave up to get rid of him. And basically, it came to the conclusion he has to have over 100 sacks in 6 years. He has to be more valuable to the Bears than what Aaron Rodgers is to the Packers, than what Tom Brady is to the Patriots, and what Drew Brees is to the Saints. So that gives you an idea of, combined with money you paid him to what you gave up, to really get the true value out of him, that's what they determine he has to do. So it's a lot. I don't have a problem with it. They needed another pass rusher. And if they could ever keep Leonard Floyd healthy, because he does have a slim frame, so that was the knock of him coming in. then they could have a dynamic duo because the positives is Khalil Mack, he's durable, plays every week. That's hard to find. Second, he plays the run as well as rush the passer. Third, he seems like a model citizen. So you don't have off the field issues. He's always on the field playing. Right there, you're worth a lot of the contract just doing that. So, all in all, it's one of those, like, if I was a Bears fan, I'd be excited. But, number one, you're putting all your baskets in the Trubisky's bandwagon because, let's say he's horrible this year. It isn't like you can go draft the next 2 years in the first round quarterback, and it isn't like you have pieces to trade to go get one. So they're going all in on Mr. Biscuits. So obviously, hopefully that works out for him. I think that's really going to be the key to it, to be honest with you. So that's like a little thoughts on that. Let's see. Surprise team in the NFL. We'll go that way. This year, the team I like that no one else, well, I shouldn't say no one, but it seems like most people have their win total around 6, that I think is going to end up at least with 9 wins, is the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like everyone is sleeping on the Cincinnati Bengals. They had a down year, obviously, last year. They've been letting offensive linemen go. People forget they used to have like a top 5 offensive line a couple years ago, and that's why Dalton had the huge year, blah, blah, blah. They're starting to get the line back in order a little bit. They got a good defensive line. I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. So the Bengals is kind of the team I expect to have a winning record that most people do not. So the Bengals are my surprise team this year, I guess you could call them. I like the Bengals to win at least 9 games. So there's that. To the Dolphins, surprise cuts. They cut Tony Lippett, which is a shame because he had a really good 2016, tore his Achilles last year, and he was the converted wide receiver to corner, so, he was just gradually getting better. And I can't blame them for releasing him because in the preseason he looked slow to the ball and he did not look good. So I don't know if he's just not completely healthy yet or mentally he's not right. Who knows what it could be, but sadly we had to release him. Let's see, what else? Oh, Leonte Carew. If you have Leonte Carew cards, they're still worthless. What a nightmare pick that was. Gave up an extra 3rd rounder to get Leonte Carew. And the guy's caught like 8 passes. So, yeah, he's not even on the team. I think we re-signed him to the practice squad. Him and Isaiah Ford, which Isaiah Ford actually looks like an NFL wide receiver. So, but we only carried 5 receivers instead of 6. So if we carry 6 again, Isaiah Ford will be on the team. But other than that, no really surprise cuts for the Dolphins. That was the only one that, if you just said at the start of camp before I seen him, oh, he's going to make the team easily. Yeah, just didn't look right. He was slow to the ball. So it was the right move because he did look bad. Let's see, what else? Everybody's on the Rams bandwagon, and I see why. But is anybody else concerned that they just kind of built a fantasy team and maybe not a good football team? They paid a lot of guys this offseason. There's 2 ways to look at this. A lot of times people say, well, you want to pay them or they're going to be unhappy, right? That's one way to look at it. They're not happy if you don't pay them, right? The flip side is I didn't pay you, so you still have money to earn. You can't be content. You still got to fight for your money, right? Whether it's here or someplace else. So there's 2 ways of looking at it. And it depends on the individual. There are some people who get paid, and they often show up on Sunday and play hard. That's rarely an issue. Just with a few guys, it might be an issue. But most players, when Sunday hits, they're playing hard. All right. But it's what they do during the week. A lot of times that's where they take off. They don't do as much preparation. Maybe they don't practice as hard. They don't, just little stuff like that. And yeah, they try hard on Sunday, but sometimes it's those little things that it's difference between good and great. So they paid Todd Gurley, for instance. It paid Aaron Donald, which we already know my feelings on paying defensive tackles. That kind of money, it's worthless. They are going to regret it. He is the best defensive tackle in the game. He's better than Sue. But 65% of the plays, they can take you out of it. All right, so that leaves him 35% of defensive snaps he can make an impact. Worth $137 million. That's just the facts. That's just the way it is. So why he's awesome, I'm glad he got money. That's cool. He definitely earned it. But sadly, that position is just not worth that money. We've seen it time and time again throughout the NFL. We have never seen one defensive tackle worth that kind of money. So, yeah, I don't approve of the Donald deal. But, yeah, back to the Rams. I'm interested to see how that all meshes. The first sign of trouble, you got some kind of psychos on the team, too. You got Peters and Talib, very good corners. But first sign of adversity, what happens? That's what I want to see. So I'm not all in on the Rams bandwagon like most people are. But now to the champs. You got the Eagles. Well, I've been saying all along, I feel like Eagles fans in particular are kind of like almost overlooking it. Your secondary's not good. And you didn't really do anything to address it. So basically, you're just hoping the guy you drafted last year that was hurt, Sidney Jones, comes in and becomes near Pro Bowl caliber player at corner. That's basically what they're banking on. Because you have issues in the secondary. I think you're going to see it on Thursday night because I like the Falcons to beat the Eagles on Thursday night, by the way. So then that turns to, okay, let's say your secondary, because their front seven's solid. Their secondary's rough. Is your offense going to be able to put up the points it did last year? Or are you going to have a little bit of like a Falcon syndrome? And let's say it dips just a little bit. All of a sudden you could be looking at 9-7, 10-6, barely making the playoffs. So I'm not all in on the Eagles either. Like some are as well. Most people like Eagles, Rams, and Packers. Eagles, Rams, Packers are pretty much the only three I've pretty much seen picked early come out of the NFC. Didn't really get to talk about it. I actually like the Kirk Cousins move to Minnesota. Yeah, it's a fully 3-year guaranteed contract. But if you're signing a quarterback, most of the even if you sign him to 6 years, most contracts in the NFL are 3 anyways. So whether it's guaranteed or not, it's 3 years. That's what most of the contracts are anyways in the NFL. They could sign an 8-year deal. Usually when you look at it, all the real money's in that first 3 years anyway that they're going to get. So the fact that it's all guaranteed wasn't really a big deal. But I like Kirk Cousins with the Vikings. Funny thing is, it could be a great move, and they still don't get any further. It's just kind of the way football is. But I still like that move. It is an upgrade. I think Denver will regret the Case Keenum. Again, it's not like horrible. It's a 2-year 36, but you were going to find you probably don't want Case Keenum starting 16 games. I think that's just the fact of that. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe we'll have another really good season, but I don't think you want Case Keenum starting 16 games. But anyways, Super Bowl prediction. I really haven't narrowed it down yet. A lot of people are picking the Packers, but their defense still worries me. So it's like defense worries me. Can they run the football? Still worries me. So I don't really want to take the Packers. The Eagles, I don't love either. Obviously, Wentz has to come back, which he should in a few weeks. But I don't think I'm in love with them either. I think they take a little step back. And the Rams, like I said, they haven't really played together. So how is that going to look? So makes it for an interesting thing in the NFC. I kind of want to take the Vikings, but will you trust Kirk Cousins in the playoffs? Even though I like the move, it's a valid question. So yeah, Super Bowl prediction. I'd love to give you one, but I don't really have one. I don't really have one. So yeah, sorry, boring on that front. I guess I don't really have one, which is good. That's what I love about the NFL. There's multiple people that can get there. Now, often the Patriots get there in the AFC, unfortunately. But by rights, it shouldn't be a guarantee they make it this year, but most likely they will. But prediction for the Dolphins season, 7-9 in the middle of the pack again. But I'm afraid that's what it is. It's going to be imperative that we get up early in games, which under the Gase era, we always fall behind 7-0, 10-0. Even the year 2 years ago when we won 10 games, we had a lead twice after the first quarter, the whole season. You just can't continue to play like that. And the way our defense is built, it can be pounded at. So if we drop down 10-0, our strength will be kind of rushing the passer, Quinn, Wake, even the defensive tackles, decent at doing that. So, yeah, if we don't get leads early, which we haven't under the Gase era, that's where I'm afraid we're going to have a losing season. So, unless they switch up to actually finding a way to start the games and look like they are awake to start them and maybe get a lead, maybe we can win 9 or 10 games. But I'm not seeing it. I'm calling 7-9 in another disappointing, mediocre year. So that's it, folks. That's just a little jibber jabber. Just wanted to show my JT pickups. Talk a little football. It's back, baby. So yeah, what's your kind of sleeper team out there? Mine was the Bengals. I think the over-under for the Bengals was 6 or 6.5 with Vegas. Teams like that. What team do you like that's around that point that you think is going to have a winning record? Type it below, folks. I want to hear them. Mine's the Bengals. That's it. Enjoy your football. Go Dolphins.